We have the plumb bob hung, and as we come down here, you can see that it's hanging approximately 1/4 of an inch off of the center of the stake. Not very much, but it's close enough. Since all we're doing is mapping this property for improvement, and we're not looking for property lines, we don't have to worry about that. So let's get our, we're going to get 2 shots. We're going to map it out, and then we're going to run a line with the tape measure and see if the Viver Transit is any good. Standing behind the Transit, I'm going to use my compass and find magnetic north. Let me see if I'm still in view here. Alright, magnetic north is that direction right there, which is right at a big tree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the transit eyepiece, which is right here, and I'm going to turn it right at that big tree. And I'm going to zero out my azimuth ring right here. So when I'm looking at that tree, this will be 0, and that's what I want to do at this point. First thing I want to do is the Viver actually has a sight on the top of it, which allows you to sort of align things. So we're right here. We want to hold this, and now we want to turn our ring to 0 degrees. I sure hope that shows. So we're sitting at 0 degrees, and let's look and see if we're seeing that tree. It would help if it was focused. We're slightly off of the tree, so we're going to move this onto the tree. We are centered on the tree, and we're 1/2 degree out, so we're going to turn our ring 1/2 degree right here. So we are now on magnetic north. All of our references, whenever we turn this thing, we're going to be looking on a magnetic bearing. The reason that matters is because if somebody comes out here and decides they want to get our readings, all they need to do is orient their map to magnetic north, and then we're good. I'm going to throw something in. For those of you that do cave explorations, you're already aware that whenever you're using a compass inside a cave, it should always be set to 0, and your magnetic readings, regardless of deviation, are going to be based on when you're in that cave so that you can map the thing accurately. If you keep compensating for deviation, error is going to come in, it's going to creep into your map making. So just use magnetic and blow all the rest of that stuff for deviation off. This is not land navigation. This is just mapping a property so that you can make improvements on it. The transit is leveled. The transit is sitting over the survey stake. The 0 indicator here is to magnetic north. The center line in the transit is on my north point as determined by the Lenstatic compass, the military version of it. So now we're ready to take our first bearing. What we're going to shoot is we're going to shoot the fence post into the kennel. We're going to shoot the other fence post where the kennel is exiting. We're going to shoot the fence post, which is the corner. We're going to shoot the fence post, which is at the fence that encloses this perimeter. Then we're going to shoot the fence post, which is part of the airlock. In fact, we're going to shoot all 4 of those, and then we're going to shoot a fence post at the far corner, which is a considerable distance from here. So we're going to shoot the close ones that I know that I can measure out, both using the transit and the tape measure, so we can compare, apples to apples. I'm unable to show you this through the scope, but what you would do is you would get a line. It would say right in here, right on this line, and that tells you it's 4 foot 5 inches. There's a line up here and there's a line down here, and you can take those numbers, and with a little bit of math you can get the exact distance from where you're looking to where the rod is. From our book, we drew out a rough sketch of what we were trying to map out using a transit and then a Brunton, we got bearings and distances. This is a way of map making. It's not the only way. Using an alphabetical listing, I got the points that I wanted. When I shot the results, I wrote the information down. C and D was not going to fit on my paper size for my scale, so I had to blow those off. The finished product looked like this, and it's fairly accurate. It's a good enough representation that, there we go. It's a good enough representation that I could work with this to map out, if I wanted, say, a water feature over here somewhere, I could accurately figure out how much pipe I need to get over there to fill the thing, how much wire I'd need, so I could figure load and loss. I am using ink for this, but normally you would want to use pencil. The reason for using pencil is so you can erase things. We're going to first figure out where magnetic north is. So we have a point here and a point here, and this is going to become my magnetic north. Using my ruler, I select an area in here, and this becomes my north magnetic and south. That is my stake point. At this moment, everything on this piece of paper is completely arbitrary. This is just a spot I selected in order to do my drawing. I throw my protractor on here like so, and I know that my first point, which is point A, is at 10 degrees. So I'd make a tick mark here, like that, using a ruler. I would draw a super faint pencil line. Don't know if you can see it, but there's a pencil line there. Then I would take my dividers and I'd go out my distance. Alright, there's our distance. We place it here, as you can see. I'd come out on my line and I'd put a cross. Then I would put my fence post right there. I would get my distance, I would set it out here, I'd come across and I'd make my point, and I'd set my fence post. You go around making your lines, setting your fence post, using your magnetic compass bearings. Then you would use your ruler to draw your fence line. This is real hasty, not trying to be neat. And there's your fence. Just using reference lines from a known point with a known distance. The next thing we're going to be doing is getting points like this from multiple points, and I think that will make more sense to some of you than this.